Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's been quite some time since I've done an update on my baby Rayge account. Yes, he's still alive, but definitely have not been active, but I've got him finally to a reasonable point, being level 70. The last time I did a video update was when we were level 60 in the account, so quite a few things have changed, but you can see now my total collection power jumping up exponentially with the new level. I also haven't brought up a lot of characters because you'll see in my roster review, guys, that a lot of these characters I am slowly building up, as I will be making some newer videos going through, heroes, villains, especially now with these refresh characters being in the meta. And I really did want to take advantage of this because starting a new account, you get that fresh perspective of using these meta characters in these settings, and that way I can also make more relevant videos for you out there. So that said, guys, level 60 to level 70, how long did it take overall? How much gold have I spent? What are some of the better characters in the game, as well as some quick tips and tricks, especially if you guys are still following along here as we transition here ultimately to the mid game. So if we go hit the achievements here, level 70 is a big milestone because it's one of the more notable milestones where we get access to some of the more powerful campaign chapters, unlocking characters that are both in Heroes and the Villains chapter 7. You can see now, how long did it take me? Let's see here. Reach level 75 is the next goal milestone, but days logged in, this is what's notable: 124 days. So just a span of about 4 months it takes to get from level 1 to level 70. Keep in mind too, during that time I only logged in about once a day too, just to kind of get through my daily objectives, use power core to generate as much exp via farming, just because I'm pretty active in my main account, so I didn't always have time to go in, but I was able to go in once a day to do the daily objective, keep the daily streak alive, and that was a game changer. During these last 4 months I've spent pretty much 100 million gold as well, so that averages out to be 8 million 9 million gold per day usage. Main reason for that, guys, if you go to milestones, there's a good benchmark that golden opportunity milestone where we can capitalize on some of the rewards, right? And I generally believe that, I think that 8 to 9 million generally got us to that milestone 7, milestone 8 mark, where we ended up getting power cores, and that was really the ultimate goal, building up power cores over time. My arena hasn't changed too much because, again, you'll see a lot of the characters that I'm going to talk about here, they're not brought up high because I do want to slowly build them up as I use them in the campaign guides, and that way I can make some decent videos for newer players and beginners alike. So you can see here, these are 5 of the more powerful characters that I really value because of their synergy, the fact that they're all used in the end game, and as well that's still comfortably being able to essentially keep my rank here at 910, which we go here, right? The 910 mark gives us 60 power cores per time each time that I'm able to go through it. So that 500 to 1500 range is pretty big, but again, I could probably go higher once I start slowly building up these guys, but overall, still lots to look forward to for sure. That said, in the last span of I think it's been a month or 2 since I've last made a video on my update for this account specifically, but I mean, where are some of the best characters that I've utilized now, especially in being part of unlocks, and characters I'm looking forward to using. So I put a heart next to some of these more notable ones because I found that most of them just added so much value from that transition from being a newer player, and now I'm transitioning into that mid-game sector where we're able to unlock a lot of content in the game. And it starts with, first and foremost, my first legendary character that I've unlocked, being Shuri. Haven't put anything into her, but you'll see in my campaign guides later on, she's gonna be playing a heavy factor. There's a reason I go for her first, because not only is she one of the most accessible legendaries in the game, she's one of the earliest ones you can unlock, and best of all, you can utilize a mixture of the Spider-Verse, which would include any of the Spider-Man characters as well as Sinister Six. So just to unlock her, it's very easy, and she's also used in all game modes right now, as well as the end game, so that's absolutely huge for sure. With her being a supportive character, she's gonna have more mileage than some of the other legendary characters. That said, everybody else, actually I should have put a heart on Baron Zemo as well, but yeah, I'll just quickly go through some of these characters, guys. They all have end game usage, and they've brought amazing value so far. As you can see, I've brought none of them past level 65 because I really wanted to slowly bring them up as I'm making guides. But Hulk, one of the earlier characters we get in the game, he's a great solid tank. and as well he does some really good damage, but also needed in the end game because of him being part of the Gamma team, and that synergy of Wave 1 mixing with Thor's damage. There's just so much value having Hulk early on in the game and building up over time. Gamora and Nebula, still part of that top 5 Infinity Watch team in the game. They're still in the meta, thankfully enough, and they do a lot of work. The reason you guys need her early in the game is because she's one of the few most powerful characters that's cosmic. You can also obtain her via Blitzstore, just such an easy character to get access to, and she can add so much value, especially when combined with Nebula, being part of that cosmic mystic mixture. It's really good to just have them be able to unlock a lot of chapters, especially when you need some powerful characters like that. Baron Zemo, needed for villains, honestly. There's not many powerful villains that we get early in the game, and he can be unlocked via raid store. So you'll find later on in some of the campaign guides I'm going to be making with villains, he's going to be the foundation of getting through that. I don't have time to unlock the other AIM characters to go through all the Hydra, so he's going to be carrying a boatload of that pressure once I build him up even higher, so that way we can get through those nodes, ultimately unlocking the end of Villains chapter. Spider Weaver, now this was a pleasant surprise to get her unlocked through her event. These last 4 months was huge. Easily a top 5, top 10 character in the game with the amount of value she brings, especially with her being able to protect our team with her attacks and her charges, mitigate damage, and she's got a powerful stun in addition to powerful buffs for herself. So a very, very strong notable character in the game. Kestrel, another original character, just so powerful by herself. And before, I know I previously used her in the later stages of Doom. She can solo some of those nodes, so that's exactly why I want to invest with her, definitely for sure. Shang-Chi, similar to Gamora, one of the more easily most powerful characters in the game that's accessible via Blitzstore. Super cheap with the Blitzstore to unlock, as well as being part of that Alliance meta. Shang-Chi has so much usage. He's used in the Doom Raid skill notes. That might change later on if you're watching this video later and there's a different skill team that's a meta, but for now, does amazing value. He can heal, he has devastating damage, and just a great slotting character for a lot of synergistic teams. We got Squirrel Girl being part of that Apocalypse saga, being needed for Rogue, being able to unlock her in the Famine, and as well, her Young Avengers team is utilized in all aspects of the game, including Crucible, including War. I'm not involved in that just yet, but I know of her value later on. I also used her in Dark Dimension 5 previously, so I know of the value she brings, especially when we can farm her quite easily in the Nexus chapter. A Nebula, discussed on her further, the fact that she's farmable, but again, that synergy with Gamora. I may or may not have a full Infinity Watch by the time I bring this account up, but at least that synergy of Nebula and Gamora is giving me amazing value, and they're still a very powerful, easy lock-in team for Blitz wins, and as well, being able to, really push through some of those cosmic nodes. We got Ghost Spider unlocked actually in the arena store, so it's nice that she has value there, and the fact that now she can be synergizing with the rest of the Web Warriors. With the Rebirth team coming to Doom Raids, it'll be interesting to see if the Web Warriors actually just completely fall out of the meta. For a time being, you'll see that I'm going to bring her in for some of the Hero City nodes, just because she has such a good kit. We may not need the Web Warriors later and their meta may fall out, but standalone character, she's really, really good. And I also used her in Dark Dimension 5 previously, so we may need that again if I bring that account that high up. But overall, just a great standalone character. She's providing amazing value early and that transition in mid-game. And then we already touched on Shuri. So those are some of the better characters that I definitely highly recommend, guys. There's some other notable additions that I'm bringing up here. Mutants are definitely lacking right now, but my objective now is going to be using and formulating some of these characters, especially now I can make guides on Heroes Chapter 7, Villains Chapter 7, so that's definitely something I'm looking forward to, guys. If you're like me in the mid-game right now and transitioning to, make sure you guys are actually participating in Cosmic Crucible, because, like this, for instance, we're still up against some, players that aren't active as much, right, and really able to take advantage and get a lot of free wins. And how is this relevant? Well, getting these Crucible credits now, we can access a new aspect of the store. So I didn't have this before in my last video because this was added since, but getting characters like Gambit, Hulkbuster, Abomination, all endgame characters. Hulkbuster being needed as part of the Bionic Avengers for Doom raids. Abomination synergizing with Hulk and the Gamma team, being needed for the War Saga for Apocalypse, and then Gambit being part of that Unlimited X-Men team needed for the Famine Saga. So I mean, everyone's absolutely useful here. This store will likely get some changes. We get some other additions here with Lady Deathstrike, Beast, Black Panther. Don't recommend as much, as they are all farmable via campaign chapters. So this is a really big, important, notable addition to the game, especially now that we have access to more characters. So definitely looking forward to making that for you guys. Just a quick and brief update for you all. I'm leveling up and pushing my guys through, but for sure, expect some videos out here and guides that I'm hoping to bring to newer players. That way you guys can get a really good sense of how low investment you need for some of these campaign chapters. For instance, you know, when I go through Villains Chapter 7 here, this is definitely one of the more popular areas of the game, but we're going to see if we can manage some minimum power guides here and push through as best as possible, and that way you guys are able to get some more relevant guides as well, because I know given how fast this mechanic can change, you never know what to expect, right? So hope you enjoyed this quick and brief video update in regards to my Baby Rayge account, again tailored towards newer players and those transitioning to the mid game. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.